Teddy and Gus have my heart. Then we move on. I like this. I'm a turned woman who now likes romance. I think I've ever heard anyone talk about this one. I've really been getting into romance books, and specifically hello, lovely bookworms. I'm Esme from Paradise Pages on Instagram and also on Twitter, and welcome to my May Game of the Books. So today we are doing May. I'm a little bit late on this. I am so sorry about that, but I'm here with May. Without further ado, we are getting out my trusty board. I want to ask you guys a specific... I'm gonna quickly put this away considering it makes me quite white. But I do have a question for you guys. If you have any type of prompt for me that I could add on these cards, please let me know, because I would love to have a little bit more variation in them. I now put back the cards that I draw, but I kind of feel like I need a little bit more variation to read different kinds of books. So that said, let's just start with roll number 1. Hello and welcome to the Game of the Books board for the month of May. I feel like this has not been going as well as I hoped it would this year, but let's just dive into it. Green is going to be physical TBR, orange whatever I want it to be, blue is past TBR, we have my TBR jar of course, and yellow are my wild cards. I'm just going to do 5 rolls, and if I surpass the 63 that is right here, I'll have to add an extra roll. So let's hope we don't roll very high this month. My trusty dice, my trusty elephant, and let's just start with the first roll. Oh, that's out of frame. Let me do that again. 10. I don't know if you can see that, but that is 10. 10 is an orange, whatever I want it to be. So let's start with the first card, which is read a book that is rarely talked about. That is interesting. I like that one. All right, roll number 1. Okay, so roll number 1 is an orange, and that was orange. Read a book that is rarely talked about. And I really thought that this is an interesting prompt. I feel like there are so many books that have gone viral now, either on BookTok or on TikTok or wherever, and that have been talked about loads, but there's also quite a few books that I find are not talked about enough. I've recently picked up a new book that I have been meaning to read, and I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about this one, so I'm gonna add it to my list for the month. And that is none other than the 3rd book in the Pages & Co. Series. This is Pages & Co. The Map of Stories. I have read the first and I have read the second one, which I have really enjoyed. This follows Tilly, and Tilly figures out in the first book that she is a book wanderer, meaning she is able to communicate with characters in a book as long as she's in a library, and she's also able to go into stories, so she wanders into the stories. This is a middle grade, and something I really enjoy about middle grades, and especially this one, is that it has these gorgeous illustrations in them. I feel like this just reads quite quickly in a way that I really enjoy it, so I cannot wait to dive back into this world and see what the 3rd book has in store. I feel like the 1st and the 2nd book have really set us up for what is about to happen in this 3rd book, so I can't wait to dive into this one. Moving on to roll number 2. Moving on to roll number 2. Can we roll around? I'll just move the elephant for now. It was on number 10. 14, making it probably 24, I would guess. Yes, 24 is a wild card. We needed that this month. That is good. That was roll number 2. So number 2 is a wild card, and I definitely needed that this month. I have been getting into a very niche part of a specific genre, and I think it is quite a surprise when I say that that genre is not my usual genre. I've really been getting into romance books, and specifically country romance books, and so I picked up a couple ones that I have read in April. And I also picked this one up. This is a new writer to me, so I'm excited to see what I'll think about it. And that is Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is the first book in the, what's it called? Chestnut series? So this is the first book in the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. I find that I've really been getting into these country kind of romances in either Wyoming or wherever that has a farm, North Carolina, and just soaking up all of that country vibe, if that makes sense. For those of you who don't know, I was a huge horse girl when I was younger, and I feel like this is definitely right up that alley. I am excited to read more about just country boys and romance. I feel like it is the spring mood that puts me in a romance reading kick, but I've been really reading a lot the last couple weeks, I think 2 weeks, and so I'm excited to get into this one. This is, I think, about it's a bull riding golden boy, and I think the daughter of his agent, so she's kind of off limits. That is always a good start to a book, so that is book number 2 for the month. Then we move on. I like this. Then moving on to roll number 3. Moving on to roll number 3. Roll number 3. Big old 4. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a 4. 4. Orange, so that's whatever I want it to be. Read a book that has a 4-star rating or higher. I'm gonna look on Goodreads for this one, but that's an interesting prompt. So roll number 3 is another orange, and this is to read a book that has a 4-star rating. And for this one, I actually picked up a recent release, and I figured out that this on Goodreads has a 4.08. So that means at least 4 stars. I feel like it'll probably drop the more people will read it, so I need to do it quick. And that is the 4th book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. And this is Wild and Wrangled. I read book 1, 2, and 3. So this is basically what got me into this niche genre. I think Done and Dusted is right here. Done and Dusted is right here. I'm obsessed with this series. I've read the first 3. 3rd one's definitely my favorite. Teddy and Gus, you have my heart. Teddy and Gus have my heart. But this is number 4. This follows Camille, so Cam, and Dusty. And Dusty just recently came back. Cam is Gus's baby mama, but they don't have a relationship. And I'm excited. I really enjoy the series. I really enjoy the writing. I think I will gobble up anything that Lila Sage will throw at me. And me as a nun, I can't say that anymore, but as a turned woman, let's keep it at that. I'm a turned woman who now likes romance. I feel like I've really, bit the bullet. I love it. So this is my 3rd book for my TBR for this month. Moving on to roll number 4. We're doing quite well, not rolling too high, so that is good. That hit the cards, that's not fair. 12. 12. 40. Green is physical TBR. Read a book with mythology. I am 100% not in the mood for mythology, so I'm gonna redraw the card. Read a book that has a shiny cover. Alright, we're gonna go for that one. So number 4 was a green, so that means that it has to be a physical TBR book. I feel like I've been trying to do that anyway, but this is to read a book that has a shiny cover. And I'm not sure, I didn't specify that on the card, obviously, how much shiny contains shiny, if you know what I mean. So how much shiny on a cover makes a cover shiny? I would say any amount. So I went for this one, which is the Highland Falcon Thief. You can already see it glimmering in the sun. This is a middle grade, and this follows, I think, a group of friends. Yeah, no, it follows 2 people. So it follows Harrison Beck and his uncle, who are on a train journey of the Highland Falcon, and then some jewels go missing, and with his new friend he tries to figure out, I think he or they try to find the jewels. I don't know what it is about this series, but I've been meaning to pick it up for such a long time. This is Middlegrade. I was gifted this for Christmas, actually, I think by my parents, and so it also has illustrations. I can't wait to pick this one up in the month of May. So that is book number 4. And lastly, let's move on to roll number 5. I think considering we're on 60, I could not get past a 63, so that's good. Roll number 5. We could still be screwed over by the board, but that's okay. 12, another 12. It doesn't focus, does it? Sorry. 12. Probably 52. It's a yellow. It's another wild card. That is really nice. All right, that is my final roll. So roll number 5 is another wild card, and yeah, we needed that because there's another book that I've recently acquired, the day before yesterday. And that is also an Elsie Silver book, and that is Off to the Races. This is a Gold Rush Ranch book. This is the first one. This is, as I said, Elsie Silver is a new writer to me, but I feel like a lot of girls and women who are, or men, readers who are into country romances have either been saying Elsie Silver or Lila Sage. Considering I enjoy Lila Sage, I figured I would pick this up. This was a gift from my boyfriend, and at first I thought, why the heck is it so big? Because if you compare it to this one, it feels a lot bigger. And it is, because it actually contains, I did not know that, let me see where it is. There's actually an extra novella in the back here called Out of the Gate, and that's sort of the last part, so it's not that big. And so this is Off to the Races and Out of the Gate. I kind of want to see if I can read both of those this month, meaning that I will practically read 6 books, but I'm excited. So this follows Billy, and Billy really wants to become a head trainer in the racing world, and she then goes to work for Vaughn on a farm who is sort of surrounded by scandal lately, and she kind of has to help him, and she has to get a certain horse to win a competition. I think that's the main premise of it. I'm really excited about this because I feel like the world of racing and the world of racing horses is one that I've always really liked. I've read about it, I've watched movies about it, documentaries. I feel like there's not going to be a lot of that in here. Yeah, I know that it's a romance book, but I feel like at least if I get a little bit of those vibes, I'll be a happy gal. So that is book number 5 and 6. Considering I have 5, I know I've said last month that I want to see if I can add a couple more from my TBR jar. Last month I didn't do so well with my TBR jar. I'm pretty sure I picked The House in the Cerulean Sea, which has found its way back onto my shelf unread, and that's where it's gonna go. So I've so far finished 1 book out of the jar. 1 paper is in my little, it's a candle holder. So we're gonna pick another book. We're gonna shuffle, and if I finish all of those, I'm gonna make myself read this one. I'm gonna be able or allowed to choose 2 cards and then pick my favorite from those 2 to at least give myself a fighting chance. Let's start with the first little paper. I have one. I feel like it's not gonna help me this month, but God Killer. I don't know if it's focusing. God Killer. That is cool. I've been meaning to read that for a long time. It just never pops up in my brain. Let me get the book. God Killer. That is an interesting one. So this is, it's definitely a fantasy book. Oh, that's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. This was a gift, actually, I think from over a year ago from my boyfriend during Dave's Bookmarked. That is interesting. Okay, so that's option 1. Let me put this here and go and draw another card. See what the second one is. Thousand Nights. Oh, I'm also tempted about that one. So the other option I have is 1,000 Nights by E.K. Johnston. I think I also have the sequel to this on my shelf. Yeah, I have the sequel here as well. I feel like I'm gonna go for 1,000 Nights. I'm sorry, God Killer. Let me just put both in my TBR cart and see which one I will gravitate towards once I've finished the TBR I have here. But I feel like I'll read 1,000 Nights first. At least that's what my feelings say right now, but I could be wrong. Let me just grab the stack I now have. The stack is definitely bigger than it's been a couple of months earlier, but I have, as an option, God Killer, Map Stories, Wild and Wrangled, The Highland Falcon Thief, Flawless, Off to the Races, 1,000 Nights, and Out of the Gate, which is part of this one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books technically. These are going in my TBR cart, and that's going to be, at least some of them will be read in the month of May. I know that for sure. So there's that. That said, those were all of the books for the month of May. I have a good feeling about May. We'll see how it goes. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and press the little bell icon so you get post notifications every single time that we post. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!